Alrighty then. All right, it says we are live. Let's check up here real quick. Yep, we're live. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Oh, we have a strange hand down in the bottom. Hello, Michelle's strange hand. I guess we don't get to see your crazy nails you have on today when you're wearing gloves. Oh, there we go.
Rainbows.
Nice. So, hello, everyone. Welcome. It is I, designer Rachel, Michelle the Hangry, and we are joined this evening by lovely Barry. Hello. And
Hey,
Barry
guys.
is from Strawberry Paperdoll. So, thank you so much for joining us on our stream tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So, would you like to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Barry. That's what I go by online. I'm a non-binary creative here in the internetiverse, in the webiverse. I don't know what you'd call it. And I am a fashion designer. Much like Belladonna, I work in niche fashions and cater to a lot of specific styles and subtypes. Varying everything from EGL elegant fanciness to what I like to call pastel or rainbow vomit fashion. And just kind of everything in between.
That pastel rainbow vomit, we're here for that.
Yeah, I figured, I was like, I'll just wear some rainbow fun times.
Yay!
And yeah, so I've been sewing for a very long time, and I have been streaming on Twitch for quite a few years at this point, and do a lot of work dealing with modern mending, alterations, making clothing that fits every body and makes everybody feel comfortable in their clothes, and in general, slow fashion production, as well as consumer education on how to be more sustainable as we are and what we can do. Yeah, and in general, that's kind of what we do at Strawberry Paperdoll.
Yeah, similar vibes to what we're working on, and also fairly local to us. So
yes.
So cool. Thank you for having us. And if anybody watching is interested and does not know of the constant Twitch streaming, I've put links and Instagram for the Twitch and all that down in the description. So please check them out. It's fun. I've joined a few times on the Twitch stream just to hang out and chat, and yeah, it's good times. So today we are going to be just kind of hanging out, working on some projects. Michelle and I are getting ready for Techo in a few weeks. And so I have some product being prepped, and Michelle is working on some fun things being prepped. But while we're working, I'm going to be throwing out some would you rather this or that, Lolita style, but also sewing style. So, oh, Paulina says hello. Hello, Paulina.
Paulina.
Hi, Paulina.
Another local designer friend. Hooray!
Another one.
Paulina, would you like to join us?
Those stamps.
But yeah, so I have pulled Ruffle Chat and also some sewing groups so that we can get some funny would you rathers. And yeah, that would be we're just gonna have a good fun time. I guess for starters, I'll go with what I'm currently working on. Just for funsies, I've been taping together pattern pieces. This is just stuff for my kid, but I've just been doing it, so I need to continue to do it. My brain says finish the thing.
When you still have the time between child, best to get the work done.
Right, yeah. But then after that, once I'm finished, I'll be working on some more wrist cuffs, so we have product to sell when we go to Techo. So, Barry, what are you working on?
Well, like I mentioned before, I think I took a sabbatical in June a little bit because as indie designers, as creatives, as self-employed people, it is best to build in that break time, or else your body's going to tell you to take a break time. And burnout is real, y'all. So take care of yourselves.
Oh boy,
So I took a break in June, and I have been working on a night core outfit for a new Renaissance outfit. We're planning to go to the fair in Pennsylvania later this year, and I haven't gone for many years at this point, so
yeah,
that's the thing.
I've heard good things about the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. Haven't been though.
I really liked it. I really like it. They have established bathrooms, y'all. You can wash your hands and flush a toilet and wash. Their walkways are all paved, and they're just really nice and organized a little bit. They also have a big field of grass that is a chessboard, and it's just super fun. But yeah, the other stuff I guess I'm working on is I'm working on an English paper piecing quilt for my Twitch subscribers. I'm basically making a big rainbow quilt that is made with little tedious paper pieces, because that's the kind of person I am. And then I'm also working on a rainbow rose printed tiered JSK. So I'll be probably working on a few of those or some other projects I have. This every studio, every sewist knows your studio is always in motion, because if you're not in motion, then you're stopped and you're not sewing. So
Yep, I understand that completely. So then, Michelle, what shenanigans are you up to tonight?
And so tonight I'm unveiling our latest endeavor of mixing one of my biggest passions with one of my other biggest passions. Basically, we have decided to go full wild at the Techo Fashion Show and make some very special, never before seen accessories for the Belladonna show. So right now what I'm doing is I cast some eyeballs, but they have bubbles in them. Like, I don't know if you can really tell on the camera, but these have some little bubbles in them, and that happens with like resin work. More so, these were my first casts, and I made these molds, so I wasn't really sure how well that was going to go down. So now I'm like actually concentrating and making a few eyeballs. And once I unmold these for you in a couple minutes after I cure this, y'all will see what I'm talking about as far as these wacky accessories coming to a show near you.
So awesome. I can't wait.
Honestly, it's like, actually, it's kind of mixing all like three passions at once, because I'm about to paint these eyeballs and seal stuff and whatever with nail products, because you know how I roll.
I mean, if it works and gets the job done in the most efficient way for you, then
I mean, it's like I already own the stuff, so why not?
Yep. All right, so I have a smattering of 34 this or that's. Anyone watching, if you think of a would you rather, please put it in the comments and we can pop it up on screen and ask all of us some new stuff that I haven't seen before. I pulled Ruffle Chat for some Lolita stuff, so I actually have more Lolita this or that's than I do sewing, but you know, they're funky. Some of them are kind of funny, and I have a random number generator up, so I'll just be like flipping around to whichever ones pop up next. But we're gonna start this question off with, would you rather receive in a lucky pack 20 left sleeves or 5 of the same tote bag?
I feel like I've heard this one before because it has actually happened to some poor soul.
Yeah.
I would have to say the tote bags, honestly, because they could be reused as gift wrap.
Yep. I definitely would have said tote bag for the same reason.
See, the thing is, because I know where it's coming from and I know what tote bags it is, I don't know if I want the replica fabric. What am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with it?
So what you're saying is you're going to take those 20 left sleeves and craft them into a skirt of sleeves?
I think
Yeah, I'm imagining.
I
very
could
similarly.
actually just use the 20 left sleeves, sew them together, and make the longest, creepiest slurby.
Slurb?
Slurb.
Slurpee?
We're also
Or-
getting a good feedback in chat too, but
Oh, good.
Or
Oh, Paulina says 20 left sleeves because you can turn them into a single OTT jabot. This is so many.
it's my attack jabot. I use it in duels. Like
who needs a ruff when you could just fold 20 left sleeves
Left sleeves
creatively into a circle?
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, let's see here. We're gonna. All right, so question number 12 is what we've got up next. Let's see. Would you, oh, this one was fun. I enjoyed this question. Would you rather wear a mediocre cord and get really nice photos, or wear an amazing cord and not get any photos?
I feel like, considering I never get photos, I'm going to go with a mediocre one and really nice photos.
I agree. Well, because like even if it's just a mediocre coordinate, it's obviously going to be more than like kind of traditional normal wear. So like
Yeah.
it's a nice way of like remembering the experience, because sometimes when you're in the OTT coordinates, especially my fellow spoonies in chat, like you're just like, get it off of my body. And sometimes you just like, you go to the tea party and like sometimes you'll be in the back view like shoving a macaroon in your mouth like a raccoon, and like you're like, I really don't want photos of myself doing this on the internet, thank you. But a nice mediocre picture is gonna, so I can post it to the gram, I can do, or you can just have it. It's just a nice photo to have. And I feel like you get a lot more photos in those kind of outfits than you usually do in OTT, unless it's something like a booked photographer or something to that effect.
Right. And I know back in my early days, I used to get pretty decent photos in decent cords, and it all was fine and dandy. But these days, I'm just like, meh. I wore an outfit and I'm at a con, like, and I don't bother doing either amazing cords or photos.
Yeah, I mean, I did volunteer with a convention for a while, and I was actually looking at trying to set up with them like a situation where there's like a fast pass for people who are like coming to the con in alternative fashion to get like professional grade photos with their outfits in the space, but not for like the whole like cosplay shebang and stuff. But they're like backgrounds and stuff already set up. That's still a work in progress in the future at some point, but yeah, I think it would be really fun.
That's a really good idea. I like that. Just like, hey, swing on by, get a photo real quick, and then just like, boop, moving on. Oh, so Paulina,
I love it.
Paulina says, amazing cord. My photos are always crap, but then also cursed.
Yes. Verbal faces, much curse.
So cursed.
I love it. I love the glitter.
This one had a little bubble, but I will fix him.
All right, let's see. So this is in an out-of-town meetup scenario. Would you rather have forgotten your petticoat or accidentally bring non-matching shoes?
I think I would have like forgotten a petticoat, because there's a chance that if you have multiple outfits, you could use an underskirt instead. And as long as there's not a dress requirement like a brand tea party or something, you can probably fudge it.
Right.
Also, depending on the city, there are some storefronts like costuming storefronts and stuff like that where you could probably pick up a petticoat or so, depending on where you are. So I would say, yeah, I'd want to make sure to bring matching shoes because walking around in mismatched shoes all day, it's not a vibe, y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, see now, and I don't know if the
But does that mean
commenter.
the shoes just don't match the cord,
Well,
or you
right.
brought two different shoes?
That's what I wasn't sure. Is like, did you bring two different shoes that just don't match each other, or did you bring shoes that are just like super duper not the right color? But like, I know in my case, I wear a lot of black and like cream, and I can usually wear either with my outfits.
Yeah.
So like, it wouldn't have
I
mattered
mean,
so much.
and
But I
twin
do
tails is a thing, right? The split wigs were popular. Why not make a new trend to split shoes?
Oh yes.
I had a friend in college, and he would regularly get like chucks, like that high tops. Those were
Yeah,
popular,
yeah.
and he would wear different colors. Like that was one of his signature things. And so I could see that being a thing in certain sub styles, or if you wanted to experiment with styles, that might be one way to do it. Especially with those like split dresses that are popular with some brands.
Oh, yeah.
I could
I
see
mean,
that
I've
being
seen
a
like
fashion style.
twinning cords where people, if they have the same size shoe, they'll swap one. Yeah. Yeah, Paulina says people do that, two colored shoes. Let's see. A lady Hrist says it was two that don't match each other in my case. I grabbed one pink and one white rocking horse. Oh no. Oh no, poor Paulina, really? The first time you met us, you'd forgotten your main piece, but remembered everything else?
Oh my gosh. I don't remember this at all, but it was so many years ago.
Right, at this point, it's like, ooh, that was many, many a year ago. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Random number. Let's go. We've got. All right, let's see what we have. Oh, Paulina says it was Otakon when all the J Fashion people were in a row by the exit. Oh, I remember that year.
Yes.
There were so many of us. That was a fun weekend of just hanging out. All right. So our next question is, would you rather wash a petticoat or wash a white and red dress?
Definitely a petticoat.
Definitely a petticoat. Yup.
Like, why are you afraid of washing your petticoat? It's not hard.
Yeah, I'm so mean to my petticoat, like for real.
Being one of the like first kind of focused laundry panelists at conventions, I'm not really afraid of either. However, caveat, y'all, it really just depends on how the dress needs to be cared for. I would say I much prefer washing a petticoat. However, I definitely do advocate for laundering your stuff. And if you need to wash a dress like that and you're afraid, take it to a dry cleaners. They know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, too, like those color catchers are not terrible.
They're not that terrible. And it really just depends because the Chiramen fabric that a lot of EGL fabric, like a lot of it's a crepe basically. It's like a really soft fabric, but a lot of it tends to bleed like a stuck pig when you wash it, which is why there's that like such a big issue. And reds are notorious for it. But yeah, the color catchers are usually pretty good. And I mean, if you take it to a professional to clean it, you're probably not doing it wrong.
Paulina says, or you just have a pink and red dress.
That too. It's a style.
Yeah, as long as the pink is fairly evenly pink as opposed to splotchy.
Then you'll just have to go like full Sakizo watercolor vibe and like highlight certain areas and just go in and like embrace it and just do the whole thing.
Right. I think you can probably find some batik pink fabric that you can make accessories for. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then Oh, this one amused me too. Let's see. Would you rather be called an Ida for an outfit you worked hard on, or wear an Ida outfit and be genuinely complimented? I'm like, I guess the second one. Although I guess if you were wearing an Ida I mean, at this point, if I wore an outfit like that, I'd have done it on purpose. I don't know. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting conundrum.
I would say a lot of the culture has changed in the last decade of the awareness of like that kind of negative connotation when it comes to our sub fashion. And you don't see, I mean, you might see it online because unfortunately the trolls in the dungeon, but like for the most part, if you have a local community, you're not going to usually deal with a lot of the Ida subset of like being, you know, ridiculed as much.
Yeah, I have literally only seen ridicule like that online. My local community is amazing, and like, yeah.
So I wouldn't mind the second one, but I think the first one I know it's definitely a situation where I could see the Ida in myself. Obviously, we all kind of grow from a starting place that is not always as educated as we'd like to be in the guidelines of our chosen love and foray into fashion, but I don't think I ever had that from our local communities. And that does vary from place to place. That will vary from community to community. And it's really just about finding your people. Because unfortunately, there are always going to be those people in communities, no matter what they are, that want to tear you down and make you feel kind of crappy for whatever reason. And the best thing that you can do is just find the people that really appreciate you, accept you, and respect you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had that kind of situation. Even when I've asked and I've been like, oh my gosh, okay, is this outfit like, does it look jarring? Is it kind of crazy? And then I'll just wear like this and get compliments. It's like, okay, well,
yeah. I feel like a lot of times too, you're like, I meant to wear something kind of whack. I knew it was a little out there. I just did it because why not? It's just clothes. Take them off at the end of the day. And yeah. Yeah. And so Megan says, I feel like the latter means the person is genuinely kind. I mean, and honestly, like, kind or not, they may just like the outfit. Like we said, it's just kind of quirky and out there and not what you'd expect, but hey, it vibes with them. Okay, I want some sewing ones, so we're gonna skip over here. Let's see. Okay, so this one gets on my nerves. Would you rather use scissors that are mostly sharp except for they have like a nick in the middle, or scissors that are just like vaguely not sharp enough?
The nick in the middle, and I can answer that so quickly because at least they can cut. And I've used short scissors for most of my life, but like once you start to get into like 9-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch shears and you have to go back, it's such a pain. But having scissors that aren't sharp at all, you're not cutting for a very long time, friend. Your wrist is gonna it's not gonna like you for the next day or two if you're not using sharp scissors.
Lolita says they have a pair with a nick in the middle and hate them. So
it's the worst.
When I was young, I used to work at Hancock Fabrics when they were a thing, and the hours and hours of cutting, like especially during like fleece season, it was always a toss-up because your scissors would get super dull super fast, and so you'd be like, oh, my hand hurts so much.
I know, and you just kind of push through it. It's the worst. Because I
Then you
worked
get
at
that one that would like nick partway down, and then you're like, okay, at least I know I have like this much that I can just like.
you've got like the 2 inches of realty before you get to the point. Yeah, no, and the worst part was like if you didn't have a strap on your scissors, you just had your name on your scissors, and like either your coworkers or bar it, a customer grabs your scissors to cut themselves a swatch or something, and you're like, no, those are good scissors. Come back here with those.
Right.
And yeah, it's the worst.
Yes. Michelle,
Oh my
what
gosh,
say
I'm
you on
sorry.
this topic?
I just got back. I had to run to the bathroom.
Oh, I see.
Oh, that's okay. Did you miss the question?
I did miss the question.
Oh, okay. So would you rather have scissors that cut but have like a nick in the middle, or like scissors that aren't, they're just kind of not quite sharp enough? They're just kind of eh.
I feel like I have both of those currently right now. And actually, so I have a rotary blade that has a very specific nick in it. And I have scissors that are just kind of dull. And I have scissors that are taped together. So you know what? I would just like some scissors that work. And, I own a whole pack of rotary blades. I don't know why I haven't changed the dang thing. But, there's character with the nick. The nick gives it character. And you had that little, like, knot thing on your snips that Sam went and got fixed when we were at Katsucon because it bothered her.
I have a little pair of those like spring-loaded
thread snips. Yeah.
And they had a burr right on the very tip. So they were great, except for they would get stuck closed because the burr would.
Oh no.
And it was driving Sam insane. So at Katsucon, she took them over to the scissor place and was like, can you sharpen these, please? Can you get this out? It needs to be fixed.
Can you exercise these scissors, please? There's a demon and I need it out.
Literally.
Yeah, basically. It was very funny.
I was reading some of the chat and I read Paulina's when I was a young sewist. I don't know. It had like Black Parade energy, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. And then, of course, Michelle, you're gonna be reminded.
Change your rotary blade.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So Michelle, Christmas presents, birthday presents.
Yeah, I know. Like scissors that work, and it's funny because Megan actually got me these Ginger scissors in 2020 because my other scissors had fallen apart and I taped them together that were this size. But these actually, like, I like them, but do you see this? I don't know if you can see this, but there's an entire space between the two blades.
Oh yeah.
So when you try to snip threads, the thread just slips between the space and then it doesn't get snipped, but they're really sharp. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why it's like that. So what you're
saying is you need some like I got.
Yeah, I guess. I don't even. Well, see, the other ones I liked because the handle was bigger. Like this is like whichever left, right hand. And my issue here is that when you have long nails, you have to really like figure out how to get your fingers in them. So what I actually need is I need scissors for fabric that are small and for people with long nails that have small hands. Very specific need.
That is a very specific niche of scissor needs.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at with scissors.
These are my scissors. They're just 9-inch tailor shears. I have 3 pairs of these because inevitably when you cut fabric at a fabric store and if you leave your scissors at home, you'll just be like, I'll pick up another pair. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then you inevitably end up with a bunch of them, as well as I am the child of a family that has some creative folks, but is the only one who's really creative in sewing. So I have inherited quite a lot of sharp implements. Don't come at me, friends. And so I have a lot of scissors. And I have started to basically create myself things like this that I hang around my studio so I can keep them all organized. Nice. And I also would say if you have problems with your wrists, like I did definitely during fleece and felt season, these are awesome.
Yes,
The
I have
only
a few
prob-
pairs of those.
Yeah, the only problem with these is that my lock has broken and they come alive. They spring out, so I've made myself basically a fake lock with the zip tie, but they're very, very good otherwise. They're endorsed by the Arthritis Foundation, I think, and they're just really good if you have problems with your wrists. So if you need accessible cutting accessories, woo.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to say I don't really cut fabric that much with scissors. I just rotary cutter everything now. Just like rotary cutter, it's all good. But yeah, again, if it has a nick in it, then you're like, oh, you got to go over the same spot twice, and that's annoying.
And yet I do it anyway. So
Yep.
I don't know.
All right, we're going to hop back over here to some Lolita. Would you rather attempt to match red accessories or lavender accessories?
I'm
Because
gonna have to go with red.
okay, but what if I said wine instead of red?
No, I would still go with wine.
I'd go with lavender. I'd go with purple, but a lot of that is because I have a lot of purple. I have a lot of purple and lavender.
Yeah, I guess it would be if you're like, if that's your color, then you just collect a lot of it. So you should have a lot of different variations just around to collect together.
And if you have a lot of experience with it, I guess you would also like know how to fade them together more cleanly. So like if you have a lot of red in your wardrobe, then you're going to know how to match reds that are slightly off by like you know, putting them on different parts of your body rather than right next to each other.
Right. Yeah, I just thought that one was kind of funny because there's so many variations in tone and hue and all of that with a lot of colors, but I know a lot of people struggle with reds and lavenders, although, you know, pinks too for that matter.
I think you would have stumped me if you had said blacks.
Oh, because I don't even bother. I just throw black. I'm like, it's black. Whatever.
That's how I am with ivory. It's like it's ivory, it's cream, it's ecru. I don't care. Nobody cares.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think that's kind of the vibe is like not a lot of people are paying really much that attention. And if anybody does notice it, it's because they're staring at you too much. Like, yeah.
So this comment is, I love lavender, but the shades vary so much depending on how much like red or blue is in it. And that's very true. If it's more on the like lavendery pinky side or the like lilac or I guess the kind of like bluey lilac-y or whatever tones. Yeah, there's kind of that like difficult. And I know when Michelle's dyed wrist cuffs in lavender, it's like, oh, do we have the ribbon that matches this?
Yeah, because batches would come out really different. I mean, that's why I chose red in this instance because of the pink or blue lavender situation.
Yep. All right, let's see. Here we go. All right. Back down to some sewing. Oh, yeah. Would you rather work with stretch velvet or chiffon?
I think that was chiffon. I'm not working with no stretch.
Oh, well, that's Michelle, yeah.
I agree, but a lot of that is just because the quality is a little different. Stretch velvet always has this kind of costume quality because of the refractiveness of the nylon threads or the like artificial fiber that's usually made of, and it has a little too much costume. I'm reading chat as well, so but it has a little too much of a costume quality, especially that pane crushed stuff.
Oh yeah,
you get the really high end stretch velvets,
right?
Even then, it's still that really shiny, weird texture. And chiffon, even the like super cheap stuff, there is ways to work with it to not make it as hard. Like you can super starch it, you can use it on a fabric board that holds on to it. It is slippery, but it's not as bad as the velvet.
I just remember the time that Michelle tried to roll hem chiffon
Oh God.
on her serger with fishing line in it.
That was like such a lot. That was like the first time I ever tried to do a roll hem with my serger, period. That was like back in our cosplaying days.
Paulina just says no, neither. I'm good.
I don't blame her. I do not blame her at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really a fan of either, but yeah.
I'll
I
wear
don't
it
know.
with regular velvet. Just
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
stretch.
regular velvet's not as bad except when it gets in your nose and stuff, but like usually it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've made stuff with, and velveteen's even better.
Yeah.
I love velveteen. It's
Love
one of my
velveteen.
favorites. Sateen, velveteen. Trying to think of the other fabrics I like. Tiramin is good. It just bleeds a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Megan's bringing up sequins. Why are you bringing up stretch fabric covered in pre-sewn sequins? Well, that you gotta take out some of the sequins so you have seam allowance with no sequins on it. And then you just
Paulina told me not to sniff the velvet. I'll try not to. It's like gopher. It's the worst. You have to have a vacuum around, or you have to have some sort of suction or air filtering thing, because when you're working with that stuff, it's tiny plastic particles or it's tiny fiber particles, and they're going to be in the air no matter what you do. So you can try and wear a mask, you can try and have a vacuum around, but it's just, it gets everywhere. I work in wig work, I do weapon replication, I do props, I do all that stuff, and it's just always a mess. Yeah. But I'll try not to sniff the velvet, I promise.
Just say no to the velvet.
Oh, Megan threw this one out last night. I thought it was very cute. It was a kind one. Would you rather wake up to find all your work is done, a la the shoemaker's elves, or would you rather have your supplies, any supplies you order, instantly just show up at your house?
I think this is the easiest one because obviously I just want to have all my work be done and I can order more work for them to do later. And that way they get a break, you know?
Oh,
They
yeah,
can
yeah.
wait until the shipment arrives.
I am the opposite, I think. I do like the idea of my work being done, but I feel like it's also kind of a situation where we almost already have the idea of your supplies getting to you within a very quick time period. So as much as I would like the first one, I wouldn't mind being able to just have the supply if I need it. And a lot of that is just because I like the catharsis of sewing, and I like the journey and the adventure that projects can be. And I feel like if it's just like a one-time thing that these elves come in the night and your projects are done, that's fine. But I feel like I don't know. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted because I really love sewing. And
I know. See, I'm the same. I love sewing. I love the act of sewing. I love the construction,
Yes.
like sitting down and like being at the machine.
Yeah.
If you notice, I have a taped together pattern because I didn't want to have to go out and get a pattern or wait for a pattern to come in the mail. I'm like, hello. Here's my
and it's instantly there. The only thing you have to do is tape it together, which I mean,
it's part of the process. It's fun.
Yes.
I enjoy doing something. Yes. And the other, like, we always order supplies from Wawak, which like they come like almost overnight sometimes.
Yeah, literally like overnight.
Like I ordered this at like 6 p.m. and it showed up at my house at 3 the next day. And I'm like, well, cool. Like, that's one of the reasons why I keep ordering from them.
Yeah, no, I've ordered stuff like at midnight the night before, and it's come before midnight the next day. And I know part of it is because they do have a warehouse in New York. And they do have warehouses in New York and I think in California, I want to say. So it's in general a really cool website to get things at.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I need something. I need it fast. All right, well, whack it is.
Yeah.
Paulina says, give me the elves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Paulina here. Like, I like sewing, but that means I could sew as much as I want during the day. And I can order the elves from Wallwack. That's even better.
No,
there you go. Yeah, that's what I was laughing about. Was that she was like, Wallwack has the elves, and it's like, all
that's
right.
true, they do.
Is it that Wallwack are the elves, or that they have elves you can order?
Or they have them.
That's how they get to our house so quickly.
More information required.
I need to buy in bulk.
Yes.
Like those boxes of ladybugs you can order on Amazon?
Yes. Literally that.
Oh, God. Oh, goodness.
And see, I would enjoy sewing and then baking snacks for the elves.
Yeah. Bake all the things that you can't eat, but you'd like to bake.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm there with you. I'm like, I'm gonna make some cookies. I guess I'm gonna eat all these cookies myself. Whee!
Oh, they have the elves in employ.
Yeah, that's kind of what I assume. That's how you get your order so fast.
Oh, Paulina, I'm so sorry. I'm working on an order from July of last year. Give me the elves. Yeah.
That's a mood.
I feel you.
Feel you, friend. Feel you for real, for real. That's a grind.
Yeah. That I felt very bad about how long it took for our latest ice cream shop to get finished. But yeah, it is what it is sometimes. Let's see. All right. What do we have here? Oh. Would you rather buy a dress with missing waist ties or a set with stained socks?
Well, if I got the stained socks, I would just throw them away.
Right?
I wouldn't be missing anything on the dress. So I wouldn't be missing out. I don't know.
I've actually bought a dress with missing waist ties before because it was a dream dress, but it was also going to require some surgery. So it was going to need new buttons, it was going to need a fix on a strap, and it was going to need some mending, as well as the dress didn't originally have pockets, which it's a sin. I'm sorry. If your dress doesn't have pockets, I'm upset at you.
I guess we're very horrible senders.
But basically, I also had to insert some panels because I am, as they like to say for Sailor Jupiter, I'm talented, and so a lot of dresses do not fit me well, and so I ended up having to insert panels anyway. And it's Guilty Melty Sweets by Alice and the Pirates, and it came in navy blue. And I ended up getting it for $50. I really need to remake the waist ties, but I don't need them because it fits me well now, except for like having a nice bow on the back. So I'd go with the dress without waist ties. Socks, I don't mind getting stained socks, but it's like you have to bleach the heck out of them. And then even then, socks, they don't ever really get clean. Because I guess of the like abrasion and how much they're in your shoe. And I don't know if I got like a stained sock, if I would want to wear it. And so I would kind of be in the camp of maybe you could salvage it for some Fairy K cuffs, or figure out how to repurpose most of it and throw the grosser parts away. Right. It also depends on the stain, because I know we've all heard horror stories.
Right. It's one thing if it's like, okay, I can understand if like the bottoms of them are a little bit, because that just happens. It depends on. But I know for me personally, I have a large boat feet and I can't generally wear brand and like Asian size socks and shoes anyway. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay. I don't care. I would throw it away. My thing is I'd like to have waist ties, especially if you were going to alter it. I know a lot of times people have altered by inserting the waist ties to give them that extra space.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, socks that I can't wear, I'll toss those and let's have some waist ties.
There you go. Well, this was also a situation where I was buying it from a friend. So it was one of those things too of like I was able to get it locally. I knew who owned the dress beforehand, and it was just one of those situations that like if they came around, if she ended up finding them, she'd probably send them over,
Right.
But yeah. It was just at the end of the day, it was like it was a dream dress. So I was like, yeah, I'll figure it out.
All right, let's see. Would you rather have a machine to perfectly clean, iron, care for your clothing without damaging it? Or would you want to always win every bloodbath or auction that you try for?
Well, okay, but if you win the auction, does that mean you're spending ass loads of money? Or are you winning an auction at a decent price?
I mean,
because there's a big difference between winning a $40 auction and a $4,000 auction.
That's fair.
I'm just saying, there's kind of a question here of what exactly are you getting?
Yeah, I guess maybe the caveat is you're winning it reasonably. I don't know. I know personally, I don't generally go for stuff that is in that bloodbath and like hard to get auction camp. So I'm like, hey, I'm lazy. Would you like to clean all my stuff for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think I just want things cleaned perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I feel like it is half the battle to 3/4 of the battle. Like, yeah, having the nice, pretty thing is fun, but making sure that it's cleaned and taken care of well enough that it'll last you many years. The amount of money that some of y'all put into these dresses, making sure that they last you years and years of wear and tear and being able to have it like perfectly mended, perfectly pressed for every tea party, and you don't have to deal with pulling out your iron, making sure everything's good to go. I'd go with the clean machine.
Yeah, Paulina says clean machine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think a lot of us, maybe longtime fashion people are like, yeah, dresses come and dresses go. Clean all my clothes.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, if I don't win the AP bloodbath, it'll come down in price at some point and then I'll buy it.
Right. Let's see. Oh, this one was submitted on a sewing group. Let's see. Would you rather work with dull scissors or work with a machine where the bobbin always gets tangled? And I'm sitting here going, is it the machine's problem or is it my threading of the machine's problem?
I already work with dull scissors, so I guess that's my choice.
Yes, since we discussed this already.
Yeah, I'd probably say dull scissors because I've got a hookup to get my scissors sharpened, so they wouldn't be dull for long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if my machine's bobbin is constantly tangling, there has to be something wrong with the machine. Which
yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things. I think that's like a curse for every sewist, especially like beginners and stuff like that. I've noticed that a lot of the times when you're teaching, like the first foible that tends to scare them away or like make them upset, and like almost give up on sewing. Even professional seamstresses that have been doing this or tailors that have been doing this for a long time. If you've got a machine that is just having an attitude with you, either because there's something going on with the tension, you're not threading it quite correctly well enough or whatever, it is one of those things that will make you flip a table and you will just have to leave the studio for the day because threading your machine 15 times and it's still not right. And so you have to take it out and it has to sit 2 weeks in a guy's, in your repairman's whatever. And then you finally get it back. You're like, oh my gosh, finally. It's usually a timing issue.
Yeah, Paulina says when my machine gets mad, I just have to walk away. Like, Yeah, it's funny that you say that, like, new sewists. I recently, my 4.5-year-old was like, Mommy, I want to learn how to sew. Teach me how to sew. And I was like, okay, when I get back from my trip, we'll work on sewing. And, I moved my home machine over into the living room so she can sit and actually use the presser foot at a stool her height. But then she's like, I'm just going to do it by myself. You go away. And I'm like, okay. And then of course she like immediately, like, the thread gets lost up in the machine, and she's like, it's not working. And I'm like, well, yep. Like, there's certain things you can do to remedy that situation, but when you're just starting, you don't have the skill base to
Yeah, no, and especially because you're just expecting it to work. And I that's not even just an issue with like 4-year-olds, because I've taught older folks who just want to enjoy some delicious beverages and operate industrial machinery. And I and some of them have even lost their temper, even though they're full grown adults, and been like, oh my gosh, I can't, and it's just like, okay, it's all right. Take a breath, enjoy your little cocktail, whenever, come back, I'll have it rethreaded for you. It'll be fine. Like, it's just some days like that. It's hard, but we all suffer through it.
And it's one of those things that, like, the more you use your machine, the more you get to know its little quirks and stuff. And like, oh, okay, I have to make sure that I, like, roll the dial to a certain point so that when I stop, then I can just start sewing the next time and it's fine and it doesn't do that thing. But
yeah, I've started to tell my students, like, listen to your machine and you'll know when it's sewing well versus when, like, a thread is stuck or the bobbin is reacting or you're having issues with your needle. Like, you'll start to notice a lot of those sounds and be able to remedy it before it even becomes an issue. But yeah.
All right, let's see. We've got I don't know. I might skip that one. This was a ruffle chat. It's you buy a set. Would you rather have the matching socks that actually go with it? They're a little stained on the soles, or they're secret shop replica socks, but they're brand new. And I'm like, well, that's kind of a no-brainer.
I mean, yeah, I think most people would probably go for the new socks, even if they're replicas. I mean, but a lot of that is just because of the resale value. I mean, obviously, if you have the original socks, it would be better to keep them with the item. But if they're used beyond repair, then you're kind of SOL. So, are you going to spend another $80 on those socks or find the $20 replicas? We know the answer to that question.
Well, this one just says they're a little stained on the soles. I'm like, yeah, that could be. Yep. Megan says neither of those. The set socks don't match.
Literally, I mean, she's not wrong. How many times, like, going back to this, can you match lavenders question? Literally, a lavender AP set will not match its dress. They ain't even matching. So why do you want those? And then you could wear them and people be like, your lavenders don't match. And it's like, this is literally what came out the brand. Like, they literally sold it like this. I don't know why you're mad.
Yeah, no, that I'm whenever they post like the advertisements for this and you see that like the socks are like 10 shades different and you're like, what? This is lavender, this is Saks, this is what is this?
Yeah.
50 shades of lavender.
Inappropriate behavior.
Inappropriate behavior indeed. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, would you rather receive the wrong item in an order and end up loving it, or receive an item that you really wanted and end up hating it once it arrives?
Okay, but if you received the wrong item, then who got sent your item? Now you got two people with wrong items.
Yeah, very true.
Like, that's kind of a mess. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely received things that I was like, wow, this is not what I thought I was buying.
Yeah, but at least you know it's the thing you picked.
Exactly.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't buy enough stuff, especially like in overseas. Like Michelle's the one who buys more. But yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one for me.
I'd probably,
I want my order.
yeah, I'd probably go with the original order and dislike it. Because then, of course, like Michelle was stating, is like, you got your order, one, and two, the resale market on a lot of pieces is okay. Like you can usually get what you paid for as long as they're like new, and you're gonna figure out whether you like it or not within like the first 2 or 3 weeks of owning it usually, especially for things like brand items and stuff like that. So I would say get the item but not like it versus getting the wrong item but loving it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know if I got a wrong item, I'd be like, oh, who got mine? And now they're unhappy and grumpy. And I'm like, oh, well, whoever this was has great taste, but oops.
Especially with things that are like limited edition or handmade, especially by like indie designers, a lot of the time, like it's not just well, they can just replace it for you. It's a situation now where, oh, you're going to have to ship it back or something like that. Or if you really like it, then of course, yeah, it's a limited edition. So that other person might not be able to get their hands on it again. So
Let's see. Get it. What do we got here? All right, I'm not doing that one. No, already got that number. Let's see. Man, all these sock questions. Everybody.
Okay, I just want to add in too that y'all gotta keep in mind when I'm just like, nope, to the socks. I do pedicures day in and day out. Y'all have not seen feet the way I have seen feet. Okay, like their feet are a type of way that I don't think you really understand until you've seen the feet that I've seen.
Well, maybe that's why they keep putting in all these sock questions, because it makes it a hard choice. I don't know.
Like, are there a bunch of nail techs up in the community? Because I didn't think there were. I don't know.
Yeah,
I would say, yeah, there probably are, because I know Decora nails are really big. Now, there might not be some that do the ones that are as like focused in the niche as yours might be, but I know for sure that Ganguro has a lot of nail culture and hair culture, as well as Fairy K. I don't know if we have many that are very as visible as yours is in the local community. But I wouldn't be surprised if you ended up finding out that we have a bit of a lot of a community of them in a subset of our fashion culture. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
I will say that I think for the most part, I've met people whose mothers are nail techs. That's a thing.
Megan says a bunch of podiatrists.
What would somebody call a bunch of Lolita podiatrists? Like a podiatrist?
Yeah, that'd be cute. That'd be cute.
A pediatrist. Wait, no.
Yeah.
I was trying to do that in my head. I saw it coming. No, that's when they're a group of Lolita podiatrists that are serving tea.
Yeah. That's true.
All right, let's see. We're gonna go here with: would you rather break a needle or run out of bobbin thread?
I'd rather run out of bobbin thread. That's easily, easily fixed.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go fish out a needle from my drawer where everything magically disappears.
So my new industrial baby winds a bobbin while I'm sewing. And so when I run out of bobbin, then I just take the full one and I put it in. And and I don't have to, like, my home machine is a little more annoying because I'm like, I ran out of bobbin thread and now I have to go wind a new bobbin. But this one, I'm just like, hey, the bobbin is already done.
I've lost many a game of bobbin chicken, but it is not nary quite as frustrating as breaking a needle. There is also the added bonus of, like my lovely Viking behind me, which is my embroidery machine, you can buy pre-wrapped bobbins, friends. You can also buy machines specifically for wrapping said bobbins, and I do both. So I have not, and when I was first learning on sewing, the machine that I used and still do use, it just needs to go to the shop, so I haven't been using it for a little bit, is a Singer Slantomatic 603 Special, I think was the one that I learned on, and it winds the bobbin inside of the bobbin casing by just pressing a lever, and you disengage the lever by closing the bobbin case. So whenever you would run out of bobbin thread, you could just rewrap the bobbin and go on your merry way. I realize now that I was very spoiled.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
Because a lot of the machines nowadays, you have to take it out and rethread the machine and wrap your bobbin and rethread.
Yeah.
That's my home machine. Yep.
Yeah.
Paulina says break a needle because at least you notice it right away.
She's not wrong.
That's a fair point. Fair point.
Yeah, that is a very fair point. Rachel, I wanted to let you know, and I should have just sent it to you directly, but last night we were watching this old Try Guys video of them making a dress without instructions. And so like they're trying something without instructions, they always bring in this like expert. And so they had this expert sewer who was like teaching them sewing basics. And she was like, maybe don't sew over your pins because sometimes it's fine and sometimes it's really not fine. And yeah, I know, Barry, you don't know this, but Rachel is a sew over pins person.
So I got over it for a while. I started off sewing over them. I got over it for a while, but now the industrial just kind of beasts through whatever.
I can't with you.
So we do talk about sewing horrors on my channel because I like to mitigate / stop people from, one, putting pins in their mouths when they're sewing because it is a trigger for me. And two, I do try to generate the positive reinforcement of, please take your pins out of your project while you're sewing because you can break a needle and it'll fly into your eyeball. Whee!
Yeah.
But it isn't as big of an issue as when you're wearing glasses and things of that nature. But if you have ever seen a gentleman who there is an image that is quite, I think, it'll change your viewpoint if you don't think that you should take your pins out, or that when you're using power tools you shouldn't be careful and wear safety gear, where there is a rotary blade for a power tool that he was using that it broke, and it has lodged itself within like a 16th of an inch from his eyeball. So it's definitely one of those situations where if you decide to play it dangerously, wear your proper safety gear. So if nothing else, you have that ounce of prevention, because no one wants to deal with you in the hospital going, I sewed over my pins and now I have a needle in my face. Can you fix that for me? But yes, So yeah, and don't put your pins in your mouth. Like it just, I'm not gonna get into it because I don't want to get anything problem with YouTube. But like, come to my stream and I'll tell you all about it. Yeah, it's scary, and it always it bothers me so much when I can tell when people are like taking the pin from their mouth and putting it in the project. I'm like, I can't watch you anymore. Sorry, bye. But yeah, it just drives me crazy.
No, that one I'm rather guilty of. One time I was doing a dress fitting recently, so I was masked and I was like, I'm just gonna stick these pins in my mask.
I mean, at least you have the mask in front. It's mostly when the people like, I'm not condoning it. Don't you even come at me with this. But like, at least you had the mask. Like, that's all I could say for that. Because,
yeah, that one I was like, where do I not in my mouth? In my mask. Just
I like to joke because we kind of do maho magical humans. I'm maho shoujo, maho shonen kind of on my channel a little bit. And so I have this now, which whenever I put it on, I'm like, haha, my transformation bracelet. And it's a pin cushion.
Yes. I mean,
it's one of those slap bracelets. Yeah, I have one of those too.
Yeah, it's the like hardware screw, like
handy freight friends.
Yep, it sticks to my sewing machine. So yep. I got a few of those floating around.
Yeah.
We use them. So when I used to work in an industrial drapery workroom, and we used those there, so I have a lot of like tools and stuff that I like.
Got tips and hints from working in those. Yeah, I managed our upholstery section for a few years when I was in at G Street where I used to work, and
love that.
It was definitely a different world. And the upholstery section, man, there's a lot of really great tips you can learn from the different applied skills of sewing. Not only about like the machines used, but also like the practices and just hints and tips to cut corners when you want to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So let's put this question. Oh, okay. So this one, things that I've done both of, because I know we're coming up to an hour of streaming. So I wanted to ask this one because I think it's funny because I've done them both. Would you rather forget to mirror some of your pieces when you're cutting them out, or cut every single piece upside down on a directional print?
I think
from your very scandalous giggles, I anticipate that this has happened before.
Yep. Yep.
I remember the upside down one. I don't think you ever made it. I think you just cut it out.
No, it was all in pieces. I realized I cut it out upside down. I held on to
was this part of the don't cut stuff out while drunk and then drunk cutting?
No, I did that while I was in high school making a sample for Hancock Fabrics.
Okay.
Now, I do have one point of clarification. Is the fabric limited, or am I able to get more yardage?
Oh, I mean,
okay. I'm going to assume that we have more yardage.
Yeah, you can.
I would probably do mirrored, because then you can get two garments when you cut it again. You can cut it again and get the garment. Upside down, it's a little harder to remedy. I mean, you could always go back and do like a second cut and just make the bodice shorter, or the skirt, it's going to run. It's a skirt, like just trim it a little differently and you're good. But I'd say mirrored. Mirrored is preferred.
Yeah, I can definitely, that was a good, if you've got some flipped ones, just make sure you get the other ones the second time, and now you've got two. Yeah. That's a very good point. I think usually when I like cut stuff out backwards, it is of that nature. I'm just like, I'm making more of them anyway. I'll just make sure that I like cut out both sides again.
Yeah, I mean, because I know that that's been something that I've done before. I've done the upside down mistake before, but I haven't had a lot of like dedicated prints like you guys have, where there's a definite I mean, usually there's stripes and diamonds and things like that, but you can get away a lot more with the mirrored as long as you're not like trying to exactly match up within like a 32nd of an inch. You're usually fine.
Yeah, very true. Okay, all right. So I think we're gonna round this out with a last Lolita question from our lovely Megan, which cracked me up. Would you rather wear Lolita while crabbing or to eat crabs? Since we're all
Like
DMV.
to walk sideways like this, I feel like that's something we've already done. Being in the Maryland area, like big crab energy. I don't know if you guys know this. I would also eat crabs. I mean, if you've got an apron or a cover for your dress, just wear it. But like, I've also been in areas where crab afternoons are a thing, and you just go to somebody's house and you eat crabs all afternoon.
Megan says crab catching in the bay.
Yeah, like I think she means like catching them.
Oh,
actually,
I thought you meant like some sort of like TikTok challenge or something. Crabbing well in EGL. Like I'm like, okay. No, the actual employment of crabbing out in the wild. I mean, I feel like no. And
no.
And here's why. I don't wear Lolita a lot in proper, i.e. petticoated, in my studio for very specific reasons. That is because I will get caught on literally any corner surface within this space.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I say, yeah, I would much prefer eating crabs than crabbing. Not only that, but I feel like because you have to crab in places like Alaska or Iceland or in the very like cold areas of New York, that you would probably need more than tights or brand socks to hold in the warmth. So and there's also no like, waders or gaiters that are angelic pretty, for crabbing. So like I wouldn't be able to match my coordinate.
So what we're saying is we need to make Lolita waders.
I did not start this.
And host a Charm City meet where we all go crabbing.
Where we all go crabbing.
Crabs afterwards.
And they have to be Old Bay themed. They have to, if you're doing Maryland, you got to be Old Bay themed.
All right. Let's get on that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Megan says you can catch blue crabs in the bay. Let's do this. Oh my goodness. So,
yes, we have the creepy nightmare fuel.
Oh my goodness, Michelle.
I need to put color in the back of these eyeballs, but I just wanted to pop them in and see what would happen.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I know you were working on a couple of different eyeball designs.
Yeah. So I would like people's recommendation on what eyeball styles that you might like to see on these Ferb plates. So there's some little cat/snake eye things going on. Oop.
Did you have Oh yeah, I saw that round pink one.
I was practicing on one of the ones with bubbles in it.
Oh, hello there. It's got some glints. Glints and gleams.
Ooh woo. No, I'm kidding.
It is very woo. This is creepy.
God.
This is really creepy.
I will notice it. No,
that might not have been the right color choice.
This is very creepy.
Yes, pink eye. That's great.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I think that is going to wrap it up for us tonight. We've been going for a little over an hour and we're just kind of goofing off at this point.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for joining us. If anyone watching is interested in watching more on Twitch, you stream what, 3 days a week?
3 days a week right now, and sometimes we do what I like to call Jamily game nights. Yeah, we just have a lot of fun. And that's
Awesome.
we do sewing mostly. So if that's your content you're looking for, you'll find it
Awesome.
there.
Thank you. Oh, eyelashes. Oh.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I
mean, no, that makes it. No, you have to have the eyelashes. That's the uncanny valley.
I definitely need to trim them a little bit, like this much, just so it's like Furby length.
Yeah.
You know what? I could trim it and then add it to the middle so they're more full. This is a great idea.
Great.
There you go. Beautiful.
Let me get out my dull scissors.
Lovely. Oh, wow. All right. That's, wow.
Strong finish.
Strong finish. Yep.
Strong finish.
Strong finish. Talking about some Maryland shit. Got some Furbies
There
with
you
eyelashes. Apparently, new Furbies don't have eyelashes, and the kids don't know what we're talking about when.
Yeah, it's like super weird that they don't understand eyelashed Furbies, but they need to. They need to be introduced.
The first pair of falsies I ever wore came off of my Furby.
This is a real story that really happened. She literally, we were in high school. She had a Furby.
They just glued. No, the glue was just coming loose, and the eyelashes just kind of like fell out of its eyes. And then I was like, "Let me stick them on my face."
I mean, that is a very kid thing to do. So, like, you're not wrong, but you are
like,
wrong.
She wasn't 8. She was like 16.
I was like 16 or something.
Are teenagers not allowed to experiment with Furby eyelashes? I want to see the rule.
This is true. This is very true. In fact, anyone should be able to, at any age, experiment with Furby eyelashes.
Just not like directly in your eye. Like
no, like on my eyelash.
On the eyelash.
I didn't even use glue. I just kind of like plopped them on. All right. Well, now with that, with that extra story in the bag. Yeah, Megan, thanks. At least it wasn't drugs. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I've had a really good time just hanging out and asking silly questions and doing some crafts. So you're welcome.
Been so fun.
Thank you, and you're welcome back anytime.
Oh, why thanks. Yeah. That's the life of content creation, man. It's just you work and you do things, and every now and then you do get, as Paulina's saying in chat, extra cursed content. Extra cursed. But yeah, no, it's always super fun, and I do try to drop in and see you guys sometimes when you're on, and yeah, it just makes for fun when you have some co-working time and some different projects you're seeing. And I'm excited to see how you guys deal with Techo. And if anybody's going to Techo, definitely check out Belladonna, their fashion show, their accessories, their booth, and give them some love.
Yeah. So these Furby faces will be at Techo. Actually, we're kind of excited. We're glad that they were able to raise the money to have Techo this year.
Yeah, definitely. And they're still accepting donations. So if you haven't gotten your donation in yet, I believe it's still being matched by the game company up to 60,000 or more. So
they were did they change it? They were matching up to $20,000. Well,
I'll have to double check the post because I know I saw something about an update. Let me I'll pop on Facebook here. But definitely go and check them out. I'm sure any donation is a good donation that will help them continue to run the event and allow for more independent designers to get recognition and have more of that content, which I think definitely is a huge step in the right direction.
Yep. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Barry, for being here with us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.